Today at Manchester Theatres, I am thrilled to be chatting with Polly Lister, who is an award-winning actress, has just been on our screens in the last week on Coronation Street, but is currently in full flow rehearsals for Bolton Octagon's Christmas show Around the World in 80 Days. Now, it's coming from the 16th of November right through till the 6th of January, so you've got plenty of opportunity to catch it. Now, Polly is no stranger to the Bolton Octagon, having been here before in One Man, Two Governors and also Hound of the Baskervilles. And more recently, she has done shows such as Song of the Stitch and also Michael Rosen's Unexpected Twist. There's been so many performances throughout your career. We're talking Jekyll and Hyde, Abigail's Party, and Beauty and the Beast. And that is why we are thrilled that you are bringing all of that lovely talent to us at the Bolton Octagon this Christmas. So thank you for chatting with us.
No bother. Thank you very much.
So the Around the World in 80 Days, I'm going to be honest, my biggest reference point for it was the 1980s cartoon where Phileas Fogg was Willy Fogg and he was played by a lion. So can you kind of tell us the actual story and a little bit more about the story and what goes on?
Oh, well, I wish I was a lion. That sounds very, very good fun. She sort of has a lion's heart. She's absolutely fueled by a desire to sort of meet people and have friendships and see the world. So she's absolutely full of adventure. We first meet her, and that's a bit of a twist because it's normally a him, but we first meet her and she's quite discontented with life. She's had loss in her life, and she's got this brilliant friend, Eliza Sullivan, whose husband is in a sort of failing business, and so he sets a rather ridiculous and very sort of pompous bet. It's an attempt to sell some newspapers.
Okay.
But Phileas finds herself accepting this bet and embarking on a around the world trip that he believes can be done in 80 days. And so she sort of takes him at his word, which is foolish. Never trust your nemesis. But whether she does it or not, we will see. But that's the story really. And I love it. I mean, I've really found the rehearsals and reading the script really interesting because as entertaining as it is, it's also, for somebody who's not very good at geography, really informative. I love the different ways that you go across the globe. It's really exciting.
And so we're going to come to that in a minute, that it's normally not a lady, but she's, like you say, she's quite eccentric. She's a little bit of an entrepreneur herself. So can you give us maybe a little bit more of a vibe as to who she is as a person?
I think she is very definitely a woman of her time. I think if she was alive today, she'd be a very, very different kettle of fish. She'd probably already have got lots of sort of accolades, to her name. But she has lived hitherto as a wife, as a sort of figure of the home, and yet we've seen her sort of striking out, doing good work. She's a big supporter of the Unfortunate Home for Unfortunate Women, and so she does lots of charity work and fundraising and things, and opening events, and she's quite well respected. But I think there is an element that she can deduce of a sort of pity for her because she's now a widow and she's childless. And I think that really rankles her because she's more than that. She's not something that was, she's something that is or could be. And I think it's in search of that could be that is the fire in her belly. What could happen? Who might I become? Yeah.
I love that. So are you the first person then to play her as a female, or are we unsure of the facts on that? Or
I don't know categorically if I am. I remember, being sort of talked to about it and me thinking, that makes absolute sense. I was almost reluctant to research if anybody else had, because then I might be tempted to. But I'm certainly playing her as a woman, but I'm not sort of aware. I'm trying to just play Phileas as she was always Lady Phileas Fogg. There's many traits to her, some of which are masculine, some of which are utterly feminine. If you can be that prescriptive anymore, you can't.
No.
She is a complete person who finds herself in these situations which anybody of any gender would struggle to overcome, and yet Phileas does it. And I think that's the beauty that you see. So in one way it's irrelevant that she is a she, but for myself as an actress, it's great to have the opportunity to play such a lion of a part.
Absolutely. And do we know what the set looks like yet? Because obviously we're traveling around the world. We're doing it in boats and planes and goodness knows what else. How are we going to get that into the Octagon?
The set is beautiful, absolutely gorgeous, and the costumes are just delightful. I am in love with my Phileas costume, and the set, it's. I mean, it has to be really clever because it has to be so many things. So it won't recognisably look like a globe, but the story is pushed along and sort of navigated by what cartographers, people who make maps. And the designer has really worked on that tracing of journeys and the lines of I don't know whether it's cartography, but of that map making, the close together lines for how high things are and the patterns on a map. So it will look epic. I think it's going to look vast, and we circumnavigate around the auditorium, but then certain bits are sort of placed for this country or this journey, and the number of forms of transport that we use is phenomenal, and inventing them in the room has been a real joy with the choreographer and the designer and the team. It's been really good.
It sounds like a proper theatre. That makes sense. Like really creative and inventive. It sounds incredible.
You can't match film, or screen in a theatre. So why attempt to do that if it's never going to be as visual as what you're sort of thinking? But this is all around you. It sort of wraps itself all around you. So even though we might go on a literal journey, it's the audience feels like they've moved, hours and days and weeks with us, and yet they have not left their seats. So that's the magic of theatre, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And you all went to, I've seen that you all went to the Bury Transport Museum as well. A little bit of a photo op there, but did seeing some of the older vehicles kind of give you any inspiration or kind of bafflement as to how on earth would Phileas have managed it on these types of vehicles?
Yeah, it did bring it home that, going around the world now, it almost seems like people are doing it all the time, when business people travel all the way around. But it sort of did bring home the trials and, the effort that she had, and the ingenuity of how do we get across. There was no elephants in the Bury Transport Museum, nor hot air balloons, but the ones that we did have fun playing on were brilliant, and they couldn't have been nicer at the Transport Museum. They sort of completely welcomed us with open arms, let us cavort around taking weird videos and brilliant snapshots. And what was really useful was, because it happened so early in rehearsal, myself and Kai Spellman, who plays Passepartout, our relationship has to be absolutely rock solid. He's been my butler for years. And so sharing the ride over in the back of the car, having fun, seeing every opportunity in every bus or fire engine or whatever we came across, it did wonders for our sort of friendship, then taking that into the rehearsal room. So that was really useful. Yeah.
So is there any adventure in particular that Phileas goes on that you've got an affinity with, or you really love acting, or you love playing out? Have you got any favourite moments and any of her adventures?
Well, I love that she does go on the back of an elephant. That's really exciting, because you can't help your own internal sort of joy at how that would feel, and the adventure, actually trekking with this elephant through the festival of Diwali. That's a beautiful part of the show. Today and yesterday we've been trying to work out how we do zip wires, skiing and swimming across New Jersey's lakes. And we did reach fever point as we broke at 6 p.m. last night when we were swimming, holding on to a inflatable ring across the lake. So they're currently my favourite modes of transport is the zip wire and the skiing and the swimming.
Of
Yeah,
course. I mean, just
of course they
listen
are.
to it. Yeah, it's just like, wow. We've not even spoken about the music yet, because of course this is a musical, and I don't know, I've not heard anything, which for me is unusual, because I'm like, I want to know if there's something new coming out. I'm into it, but yeah, it's been a
The
closely
music,
guarded secret. So are you
it's
allowed to tell us anything?
phenomenal. Well, I think I can. I can certainly tell you that they're all brand new original songs, and the play and the book are from Kate Ferguson and Susanna Pierce, and they've done Christmas shows here, so they're well known. They absolutely know their industry, and the songs are so catchy, and the story is beautiful. We're working with Sam Summerfeld in the room with us, and so he's doing all the arrangement of the music that they've written. And yeah, well, there's a common thread. So the sort of adventuring song is a motif that keeps coming back. So that's a beautiful thing that links it all together. But within that, there's 16 original songs, and each one is so verbose. Is that the right word? So full of words. It's just so your mouth has to be so dexterous to get through all the lyrics, and it's really fun. But harmonies just blowing my mind, gorgeous. Yeah, the music is sensational. Yeah, and obviously it's all sung live. It'll be a track, but those tracks are being sculpted by Becky Applin, who's working with Sam Summerfeld on them. And notes go back every day about how we're breathing and how we're singing. So the tracks should feel very organic to us, you know. Yeah, the music's brilliant.
Yeah, I can't wait. Honestly, I can't
Yeah.
wait. And we said earlier, obviously, you've been, stranger to the Octagon. You've joined us many times. So what we know it's a special venue, but what is it that keeps pulling you back to the Octagon?
I love it. It's a local theatre to me, so I'm really happy to be sort of working in my area. The team always make you feel really welcome. They always assemble the most phenomenal creative team. I've made so many mates over the times of working here, costume and set, and all the educational outreach work and just all the departments. The stage feels great. Audiences are very verbal and chat to you in the bar afterwards, and that's always lovely,
Yeah.
especially because I'm local. I mean, it's great if I'm on a tour, if I'm working far away, to get to know your audience, but knowing the people that you're living amongst who have come to see you in a show, that's really brilliant. So yeah, and because they do shows really well here, so you're like, do I want to be a part of it? Yes, I do.
Yes, I do, please. Thank
Yes,
you.
I do,
Yeah.
please.
And of
Sign
course,
me up.
yes, get me on. And of course, at Christmas as well. Is it always a little bit extra special doing a show at Christmas, especially when you've got a longer run like this one?
Yeah, I think that's why compiling a really happy, solid, generous team is always important. Always, a cast and a team and a creative ensemble can make or break a happy experience. But at Christmas, it's never more important. Most people will be away from their family and loved ones, so the theatre atmosphere has to embrace them and make them feel like they're at home, even if they're not. For me, I am, so that's even more special that I get to have sort of two homes and celebrate two Christmases. Yeah, Christmas shows are really, really special to both to watch and to be a part of. Yeah, because you're creating something, and obviously this has never been done before, so that's really special as well. You're absolutely creating those characters having no reference, because it's words that haven't been spoken before, songs that haven't been sung before. And yeah, it's very bonding. It's a privilege. Yeah, I feel very lucky to be working at Christmas, and it's hard. Any actor will tell you, like, it's hard, it's rigorous, the long hours, 2 shows a day, but there's something special. It's just like a
Yeah.
lovely feeling. Yeah.
I think you get that theatre magic and then Christmas magic and put it all together, and it's
Yeah.
goosebumps on your goosebumps.
Yeah, let's hope so. I think this definitely will be one of those shows. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, thank you so much for your time today. We really appreciate it. And honestly, we can't wait for Around the World in 80 Days, Bolton Octagon from the 16th of November. So we've not got long to wait. Thank you and all the best with the run, and we will see you there.
Thank you.
Thank you.